So heading into this Jacksonville game, the Chicago Bears, they just caught an unexpected break. And today I want to talk about a couple things. First, this unexpected break, hint, it's due to some poor planning by Jacksonville. And also that the fact that the Bears will take every break that they can possibly get, every little bit helps because a late injury just cropped up on the injury report yesterday and it's major. So before I keep going, let's first off, as a family, let's be praying for all those affected by Hurricane Milton. If you can help monetarily, please do so. Just the devastation suffered in that region makes talking about football seem a little silly. But we have to move on. This is a football YouTube channel, so let's get through it. And this is talking about a miscalculation made by Jacksonville. It's when they're making travel plans, and it kind of shows the level of dysfunction that they're at as an organization. So, in contrast, the Bears came out to London at the beginning of the week. Plenty of time to acclimate, get over any jet lag, get comfortable, and prepare for the game. Jacksonville, in contrast, just poor planning. They didn't seem to take the storm into account, and they typically do depart on Thursday night for a Friday morning arrival when playing in London, but they expect to arrive way later on Friday than originally planned. And it's not a world ender. Jacksonville has played in London, I think, 11 times, but just more chaos. You have an avoidable situation giving an advantage to your opponent. Things like just chaos once they get there. They have to reschedule a news conference that was originally planned for Friday at the team's hotel, and that's about 15 miles northwest of London. They moved it to Saturday. That's an inconvenience, and the NFL is not really making any accommodations for this poor planning. They said in a statement to the Associated Press that no changes to Sunday's schedule are expected, and this is to hear from Doug Peterson. Obviously, when we find out that we're playing in London and things like that, we kind of put the ball in motion, so to speak, months in advance of this week. So kind of his explanation is that Jacksonville makes travel plans when going to London months and months in advance, and it couldn't be changed, or they didn't want to change it. I think you're an NFL team. It's $1 billion league. If you see a disadvantage, you make changes, but that's just me. This hurricane was not a surprise. But as Jaguars defensive end and star pass rusher Josh Hines Allen said on Wednesday, most conversations with opposing teams and players about London, it centers on what the Jacksonville Jaguars do. They've made the annual trip for London since 2013. 2020 was the only year that the Jaguars have not played a game overseas in that span. And I'm assuming that's due to COVID. So let's hear what Hines Allen had to say. I think people try to figure out what we try to do more so than us trying to figure out what everyone else is doing. We've been going out there for 6 years. So what advice is someone going to give us about traveling? With our head coach, he's a routine guy. He's been doing this for the past couple of years now. So his timing isn't going to change much, if any, other than this hurricane that is happening. But in regards to that, we're just going to head down there. Whenever we leave, we play ball, and we get ready to go. I mean, that's well and good. But especially if Peterson has this team as a routine team that's based on that, surely this throws a monkey wrench into things, and the Bears will take it, right? So I think at least a small advantage is being given to the Bears. And moving forward, we're going to get to this injury news. Time to see how tough and deep this defense is. And we're talking about Tyreek Stevenson. He has an injury that cropped up just yesterday, and it's a calf injury. It's left him officially listed as doubtful for Sunday's game against the Jaguars in London. This is on top of the absence of Jaquan Brisker due to the concussion that he sustained. And that happened due to the illegal hit, this helmet move done by Tremble, lowering the helmet. I still can't believe he wasn't fined for that. I mean, if it's a rule, which it is, the NFL has a rule against offensive players lowering their helmets in collisions. They need to enforce it offensively as well. He should have been fined at the very least, but I'm going to get over this. Brisker is going to stay home and get healthy. So through the bye week, he's going to be ready for the Washington game. But these two secondary injuries, they're not small things because Jacksonville, They don't have a good record, but they are not slouches when it comes to testing a secondary. You've got Christian Kirk, rookie Brian Thomas Jr. He's shown to have like phenomenal speed. And then you also have former Bills receiver Gabe Davis. So the Jaguars could also have back tight end threat Evan Ingram. And this is going to be him back for the first time since week 1. And if you look at the Bears defense, I mean, with all the parts in place, they've ranked 7th in yards allowed, 5th in points allowed, 6th against the pass. They have the best passer rating against in the league, but they've had all the starters available today. And this unit has been at full strength. Let's see what happens with some adversity. I think they're up for it, but this is coming just when the offense is hitting their stride. The back end of the defense, they might give up some points this time. So this is a game that the offense, they're going to have to pull their weight. I think they're ready to do so. Caleb Williams is improving every single week. The offense as a whole is improving every single week. I think it's good timing if it was going to happen. And it's just before the bye. But kind of looking at the Tyreek Stevenson injury, there isn't really a good option behind him because second-year corner Terrell Smith, he's out due to this ongoing hip injury. He's been out 2 games. He's going to miss another one. And then you have starting safety Jaquan Brisker. He's out with that concussion. It looks like Elijah Hicks is going to start in his place, but I did do a story on how blessed we are to have Jonathan Owens. Expect him to be a huge factor in picking up the slack as well. I expect him to be the player in the secondary that generates a turnover, that has a big game. So that's really a player to watch. If we look at what Coach Matt Eberflus is saying, what he told reporters in London regarding Stevenson, right now, he's doubtful. We'll see where it is tomorrow morning and go from there. I don't think he's going to play, you guys. And the injury wasn't complicated. It happened in Thursday's practice. They immediately pulled Stevenson from practice right away. And to hear more from Coach Flus, yeah, it was just, it was just a plant point and drive, a plant point and drive, and he felt something in his calf. So looking at the replacement, I think we're in like Jalen Jones territory. He'd be the replacement for Stevenson, but both Jones and Josh Blackwell, they're available at cornerback as replacements, but Stevenson is an outside cornerback. And Blackwell, he had a really good preseason. He had some turnovers himself, but he's been mostly used in the slot. Jones, on the other hand, he has 4 starts in 2022 to his credit as an outside cornerback replacement. And this harkens back to his rookie year. Undrafted free agent by the Chicago Bears out of the University of Mississippi. He not only made the team's initial game 53-man roster, but he appeared in every single game in his rookie season. And we're talking about he's 5'11", 190 pounds, 40 tackles, 1 forced fumble, started 2 games, played in 372 snaps on defense. That's 42% of the snaps, and 152 on special teams at roughly 43%. So he got a lot of action in his rookie year, and it appears that he played really well. I haven't seen a lot of tape on him, so I'm going to take the coaching staff. I'm going to take their word for it. So to hear Flus talk about him, he's played for us a bunch, and he's one of those guys, like Elijah, that's been in our system. He knows it in and out, and I'll agree with that. And that's a really good thing. And the coaches, they've been with those guys, and the technique and the fundamentals are there. They're going to stand on solid ground relative to that. And then to hear him talk a little more. And the other guys trust them too, because they've been in there and produced, and they've played for us. So we feel good about both of those guys. So if you look at what Jones has done when pressed into playing time, once again, he started in losses to Minnesota, 29-22, Green Bay, Buffalo, Detroit, and these were in 2022. His career high of 14 tackles. That came in the 29-22 loss at Minneapolis. He has 4 pass breakups in his career, but no interceptions so far. I don't think it's time for panic. I don't think the team is panicking. This is the first time this season the Bears have had to replace a starter due to injury on defense. And it's kind of thinking back to the game in Washington last season, right? We had to start Greg Stroman at corner. We had to start Hicks at safety, Smith at corner as replacements. If you look back to that Washington game, we won 40-20. But this time, Trevor Lawrence, I think he's a little better of a QB than Sam Howell. And let's hear a little more from Coach Flus. If it's nickel corner, outside corner, strong safety, free safety, we always have a couple guys ready to go there, because when something like this happens, you're ready. You're not trying to teach guys things, technique, fundamentals, assignments, all that. And these guys have been with the team for multiple years. They've been coached hard in practice. They know the system inside and out. I don't think it's going to be as big of a drop off as a lot of teams have. I think we have these guys ready to go. So outside of that, Tevin Jenkins sounds a little more hopeful. They'll test injured players a little more in a walkthrough on Saturday and try to learn more, but Jenkins might get longer to show that he's ready to go. Really, you can put it up to 90 minutes before game time. And I think we're going to see Tevin ready to play. I don't know if he's going to get the full complement of snaps, but I'll just let Flus talk one more time. We'll see where it is tomorrow morning and go from there. But right now he's doubtful. And then this is talking about, obviously, Tyreek Stevenson, but then going to Tevin. But then 76, he did a nice job today. He was limited, but he looked good. And so we're hopeful there. We'll see where that goes for Sunday. So you guys, this isn't a huge ground moving big break that the Chicago Bears have experienced, but it is something. And with these injuries in the secondary, we'll take whatever we can get. You guys let me know what you think. Thanks for always being here. Bear down, and can't wait for this game in London. See ya.